அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி You are filled with Jyoti, the light of God, and it is a light of compassion and intelligence. You are filled with the light of Arun, the light of grace, the light of God. It is an intelligent light. It's a light filled with compassion. Listen to his chant. You become both compassionate and infinitely intelligent. அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி
Arutperum Jyoti is the mantra revealed by Shiva. Listen to the song, develop compassion and enlightenment.
அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி You are filled with Jyoti, the light of God, and it is a light of compassion and intelligence. You are filled with the light of Arun, the light of grace, the light of God. It is an intelligent light. It's a light filled with compassion. Listen to his chant. You become both compassionate and infinitely intelligent. அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Pillai Center Practice YouTube here on Wednesday, September 9th, 2020. Welcome to everyone who is joining for the first time, and those of you who have been following this workshop that we have been doing, diving into and exploring the realm of the ancestors. So my name is Sucharita. For those of you who don't know me, wishing you all a very warm welcome. We are so happy to be coming together every day since we started 8 days ago. And we're on our 8th day, or the 8th moon. We're celebrating that connection with the ancestors at the midway point. So this is a very powerful moon during this Mahalaya Paksha, which means the great time or the great fortnight of the ancestors. So 15 or 16 days this year, depending on where you are in the world. It can be anywhere from 14 to 16 days. So if you've been watching Dr. Pillai's YouTubes, he may have said 14, 15, 16, and it's based on the calendar year. So this year it can be up until that point, 16 days. And so whatever day it is for you, here in Toronto, Eastern Daylight Savings Time, we're celebrating the energy of the 8th moon. So what does that mean? According to our fabulous Vedic specialists at Ashraved, Madhya Ashtami, meaning this great 8th moon during this Mahalaya Paksha period, this couple of weeks period where we can honor the ancestors, it's called the middle 8th moon, which is known that because it's the midpoint of Mahalaya, that where the energy of the sun and the moon are equally felt. So the sun representing our soul and the moon representing our mind, and the sun representing our paternal side of the family and the moon representing our maternal side of the family, helps us to connect with the sun and the moon and the stars in the cosmic sense of our experience. So we have these various bodies, not only this physical body, we have an emotional body, an intellectual body, a mental body, spiritual body, we have subtle bodies, astral bodies. So that's how we connect with spiritual realms, is there are these cosmic events that are happening. Just like here on the earth plane, there are different events that happen and we celebrate. So the cosmic event that is happening now is where we can feel the energy of the sun and the moon so much stronger during this midpoint, this 8th moon called Madhyashtami. And so we can connect more deeply with, or more naturally, with our paternal and maternal ancestors. So this middle phase of the 15 phases of the moon during this Mahalaya Paksha helps us to reduce afflictions. So doshas is also called, or known as, and it's this affliction of not ever participating, or we haven't done enough of honoring our ancestors. So it's this part of the middle part of the Mahalaya where we are realizing, oh my goodness, we've connected with the ancestors up until this point, and we realized we haven't done this in a way that is we're going to significantly feel it inside of us. So we're going to have our own experience because we share the DNA of our ancestors. So it is really a powerful time where we realize, oh my goodness, I didn't know how important it was or is, and will continue to be very, very important for me to keep cleansing my own DNA that I share with the ancestors. So honoring the ancestors means that we're going to benefit, and they are as well. So if we didn't do remedies, do the tarpanam on any of these weekdays or star days or moon phases that maybe our ancestors passed away on, such as Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Tuesday, or stars in between Dhanishta and Revati, 1st, 2nd, 6th, 8th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and new moon days. Oh my goodness, what does that mean? Well, that's Vedic astrology for you. It's calculations of vortices of energies that are opening up. And then if our ancestors passed during any of those days, then knowingly or unknowingly, and we don't really need to know, all we need to do is look at our own lives? Did we participate in honoring the ancestors beyond funeral rites? Maybe some of us didn't even do that. So the ancestors, as Dr. Pillai shares in the scriptures, state that they can be in hellish realms and purgatory states. They can be hanging upside down. They can be suffering. And how we will know it, because we're sharing their DNA, is that we will feel depressed, or we will feel upset, or we will see in our own lives that we're struggling with afflictions, such as addictions of any kind. So alcohol, drugs, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse that gets passed on, sexual abuse that gets passed on through the generations. And it's like, I didn't sign up for this, or my kids didn't sign up for this, or my parents didn't sign up, grandparents, great grandparents, but it get passed through the lineage. Not only will you see those kinds of afflictions, you'll see disease of the body. So heart disease, diabetes, any kind of arthritis or arthritic conditions that breaks down the body over time, or cancer that's hidden and then all of a sudden it's full blown and you don't have much time to deal with it. So that can be passed through the generations. Mental afflictions, so mental illness, mental diseases, any kind of physical handicap or mental handicap can be passed through the generations of those restless souls who keep coming. They keep incarnating into our conscious thought. And then what happens is we can also experience financial problems where we are trying to invest, we're trying to save, and all of a sudden, especially during COVID time, who knew that was coming? Where businesses have had to shut down, or we're in a place in the world where there's rioting or wars, and why is that happening to us? We thought we were secure and safe. So the ancestors for the past several hundred years, so that includes about 6 generations on our mother's side and father's side of the family, are impacting all of us, not just in an individual family, but on a global scale, because they've all been exposed to wars and famine and scarcity consciousness, poverty consciousness. And then we are experiencing that, even though it seems like we're at a time in our evolution around the world where we have science and technology, we've got smartphones, we got smart computers, we got smart TVs, we got smart everything, technologically speaking. However, we don't have that divine intervention where we can be in the right place at the right time, thinking, saying, and doing the right thing, navigating these crazy times that we live in. And it really is, it can make a lot of people to be psychologically upset, and upheaval is what's happening in a lot of families. And I'm just walking my neighborhood, and I live in a pretty nice neighborhood, and people are coming out and talking about their experience during COVID, and it's really disturbing them. And these are people who I thought were, they had it all happening. They were, driving nice cars, living in nice houses, fabulous jobs. Kids are doing okay. The wife and the husband are getting along. And now I'm seeing everybody has been locked in and locked down and looking a little haggard, if not a lot. So there's a lot of stress that people are going through. So the ancestors are pinging us globally to experience what it may have been like during their lifetimes, which was world wars and famine, and technology wasn't there. So disease, science, medicine hadn't evolved that much. So you don't have to look very far into your lineage to see that you can be inheriting that, knowingly or unknowingly. And you didn't even know you're signing up for it, but that's what's happening on a global scale. And then that's what can be happening in your own life. So if there are people that you know of in your life, the ancestors, and they struggled with any kind of medical condition or mental illness, or they died at an early age due to a disease, got wiped out. I just found out a great grandmother of mine, she passed away suddenly from the influenza at an early age. So I didn't even know that. And so it's very timely that I know about it, because here's COVID. It's a flu bug that is deadly. So we have to take this very seriously, even though, there are conspiracy theorists out there that are saying, no, it doesn't exist. And on some level it doesn't, but how do we know that our ancestors aren't going to take us out? So we want to honor them. We want to say, hey, you may have died from that, but here's what you need now I got to get rid of that intelligence inside of my genes that could get activated and could cause a lot of problems. So, this is something that is very near and dear to Dr. Pillai's heart, to give this information out to everyone. And we're here, Happy Apply Center, to be able to facilitate the information share. So what we do during these classes, during this workshop of the couple of weeks that we're celebrating and honoring our ancestors, helping them to cross over to higher realms so that they can be with exalted ancestors. And in those exalted states, they can bless us very easily, because intelligence comes from the light. When there's light thrown on a situation, we can think more, we have more knowledge, we can think more clearly. Because we have more knowledge, we know what's there, we're not going to trip up. So honoring the ancestors during this power time will really access the realm of the god Yama. The Yama is the god of death, and he decides, hey, who's been naughty or who's been nice. And then he also decides what's happening with the ancestors when they do pass away. So we're going to hear, as we do every class, we hear from Dr. Pillai, we watch a video. This time we're going to watch a video of someone who has been participating in Pillai Center services, Astrovid services over the years. And she also is sharing about her mother's passing that was so sudden and shocking for her. And this happened a couple of years ago. She made a video and talked about the importance of Tarpanam for us to know about, and her experience when she did the Tarpanam. She ordered it through Pillai Center, and then the Vedic specialist did it on her behalf. Her name is Ambika, and I'm happy to share this with you. And everyone, please listen deeply from your heart and soul. It wasn't easy for her to express her experience, but she really wanted to get the message out there and let everyone know what her experience was and how important it is to honor the ancestors, not only to help them to evolve, but to feel at peace. So we're going to share that video, and then we'll come back and we will participate in an offering live of the Tarpanam, what the ancestors really want to evolve and then bless us. So here we go.
The Mahatarpanam ritual that Pillai Center performed for me last year had such an amazing effect. So at the end of July last year, my mother had passed away, and I was struggling. I was in kind of a very dark place. I was stressed out. I couldn't sleep. I just was not coming to terms. It was so shocking and so tragic. And the way that she had passed away, that it completely turned my entire world upside down. And it was extremely difficult for me to come to terms with and manage just my day-to-day life, because my mother was my best friend. And so Gina, the teacher at Pillai Center, had suggested Mahatarpanam, and I was able to get that through the help of many amazingly beautiful people. And I ordered it, we went through everything, and I kind of just left it alone. I was in my own world. I was stressed out and struggling, and didn't even think about it after that. It didn't even cross my mind. And then one night I was laying in bed, and I was like, stressing and writing in my journal and doing everything I could to get my emotions and my mind under control, because everything was just so frazzled. It was all over the place. And all of a sudden I felt this amazingly transcendent feeling of peace. And during that time, it was very apparent because I hadn't felt that peace for a long time. It was so prominent, and I just sat there and thought, well, that's weird. I couldn't understand why. I had just had an overall sense of calm and peace and just general bliss in the hardest time in my life. I thought it was really weird, really strange. And then I had woken up the next day, and I thought about it after I woke up. I said, last night was really weird, honey. And I was telling my husband, like, it was peaceful, and it didn't make sense because everything around me was so hard and so chaotic. And so I'm getting ready to start my day at work, and I check my email, and I had gotten an email from Pillai Center that said my service was performed, and it all clicked. It was like that was the moment that my mother's spirit was no longer bound to this realm. She moved on to the higher realms, and the comfort that you get just from knowing that Pillai Center can help you with that is great. But when you actually physically feel that sense of peace, and your loved one is departing and they're going to that higher realm, and they leave you with this overall sense of calm and rightness, is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me with any of the rituals that I've done. I do a lot of Pillai Center rituals and programs. I absolutely love Babaji and everything he has to offer and his mission and everything. But this one service changed my entire life because I could not crawl out of that hole. And just that sense of peace helped me get back to who I was, be able to come to terms with, losing my mother so suddenly, and, allowed me to feel a sense of peace, to get back into my meditation routine, to get back into my life to where I could start to move on. So it's, your family has to move on, or your departed loved ones, they need to move on in order for you to move on. So I definitely recommend doing Tarpanam, every day if you can. And then in addition to that, if you have a loved one that has passed away, the Maha Tarpanam service that they offer through Pillai Center that's solely specific for your departed loved one is the number one thing you need to do. It changed my life on so many levels, and I think everybody should benefit from it. It's very enlightening and very, very heartfelt. You feel it in your heart, and it's almost like that goodbye. You get that chance for a final goodbye, especially if it's a sudden departure. You can feel them moving on, and they want you to feel peace once they move to those higher realms.
So there we have it. Thank you so much, Ambika, and thanks everyone for tuning in and participating in observing, listening to that beautiful experience that was shared, because that's what it is. Once we know that we can do something to alleviate the suffering of the soul's ancestors that works, it's not enough to pray. It's not enough to do our own daily tarpanam that we're going to do now. For some of us, it may be that ping from the ancestors to say, hey, are you ready? Are you really ready to help us out? And this is the spiritual science. As Dr. Pillai shares, the tarpanam is something like a key. It unlocks the secrets, the secret door to you to connect your DNA with your ancestors' DNA, and that which is no longer serving you, it can be released, and that which is no longer serving them, it can be released. And then they can move into higher states of being, enlightened states of being, light that they have never been able to experience in the dark realms that they've been traveling. And then we will come out of our dark states of being, or those depressed states of being or confused states of being, angry, upset, frustrated. That is optional, as Dr. Pillai shares. Suffering is optional. So you have the option to do many things and try everything out that is possible, that is available. So this is a spiritual science, although it comes from the Vedic tradition, the ancient Indian tradition, the scriptures. Every culture, every religion, every tradition has their own way of honoring the souls, the dearly departed souls. And so if you haven't explored that in your own custom or culture, or you haven't experienced that deep, deep communion with the loved ones who have passed on, then we invite you to try this out. There are no hard or fast rules with Dr. Pillai. It's a technique. It's a key that will unlock the secret for you to commune with your ancestors. They will feel it. You will feel it. And that is the main thing. Everyone has their own experience and no one can negate that. So with that, we are going to set our intention now to honor the ancestors and ask them for a higher intelligence, ask them for more light, more divinity, ask them for divine intervention to come and solve your problems, whether that's financial problems, relationship problems, problems with the family, the children, the in-laws, the outlaws, whatever your issue is on the level of health or well-being. Maybe you have long and drawn out chronic illness that no doctor or no test can confirm. If you have a skin disease or skin rashes that appear, that can be ancestors who are disturbed. It can be curses that come and they're haunting you, they're following you, and you've done your tarpanam up until this point and you don't have a breakthrough. Then you might want to consider getting the Vedic specialist to do it on your behalf, because they negotiate. They're the ones who can see those restless souls. They have the third eye open to do that. Just like we use the example of a surgeon, they will go into the brain and they will do what they need to do and dig around in all that mush and blood, and doesn't look like anything to the average person. But that surgeon who has been trained and spent many, many lifetimes and this lifetime to hone that skill such that they can save a person from trauma to the brain or taking out a tumor, and that person comes back from that experience and they have a normal life or a better life, because that darkness, that blockage, that which they inherited, that was not ever seen until some x-rays or until some scans were done. And then the surgeon does the rest of it. So it's not enough to change your lifestyle and maybe eat more nutritiously or, have less stress in your life. It can be that you need to go to the specialist. So that's what the ancestors may be pinging some of you, if not a lot of you. And that's what people have been sharing. Oh my God, I did not know. And they were crying, sharing their experience with me, that crying tears of joy that they know to do something about that which they've inherited that is messing their life up and messing their family's life up and their extended family. So if we did that as a global community, and we just took care of ourselves, our families, the curses that come through the lineage, can you imagine collectively what the world would look like? Probably ancestors exalted coming in the space, and that would be divine intervention, uplifting everyone from hatred and all the things that are come along with that. My God is better than your God. We're acknowledging all traditions, all cultures, all belief systems. Please use this as a spiritual technology. All right, here we go now. If you are in a place where it's non-daylight hours, so the sun has not yet come up in your place or it's already set, please just observe the process that we're going to go through and enjoy the vibrations. Then when it becomes sunlight hours or daylight hours, you can go ahead and do the tarpanam wherever you are. Here in Toronto, Canada, It's the middle of the afternoon, so we're good. It's daylight hours. The sun may not be shining, but it's daylight. So let's get into it now. Set your intention. We're going to do a little bit of a meditation process where we'll set ourselves up to come out of our mundane thinking and whatever has been going on. We're going to dump all that. You can see the altar here that's set up. Definitely, you do not have to have this kind of altar. All you're going to require are the ingredients that we'll talk about. But we just wanted you to have an idea of how we've come to know about this technology coming from the Siddhas, the tradition that Dr. Pillai hails from. They were scientists and they are spiritual scientists, and their energy, their intelligence is guiding us forever to relieve the suffering on the earth plane. So closing your eyes, putting your attention internally, we're going to set ourselves up inside, from the inside out, to connect with the ancestors, because the ancestors are pinging us at the level of the DNA inside of our cells, the trillions of cells. And then in the subtle bodies, the energy bodies. So imagine a reddish orangish light pouring down your legs into your feet and toes from about the waist down. So in your pelvic region, imagine this reddish orangish flood of light, liquid light or sparkling, dazzling light. And then imagine it pouring down your legs into your feet, through the soles of your feet, into the earth plane. This reddish orangish light is connected with a divine being, Lord Ganesha, who will remove the obstacles for you to commune with your ancestors on the spiritual realm. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Now imagine a ray of light shooting up your backbone, in your subtle body, in your energy body that corresponds with your physical backbone, your spine. This ray of light pierces the chakras, the psycho-spiritual centers, energy centers in your spine, stacked up on top of one another. As this light shoots up, piercing these chakras, it goes through the top of the skull and into the space like a searchlight. An SOS to your ancestors, to exalted ancestors who can be saints or sages or siddhas or spiritual masters, gods, goddesses, angels. These are the ascended masters, the exalted ancestors of all of humanity, and are connected to your ancestors, your biological or adopted ancestors. Now imagine two beams of light entering your eyes, piercing your eyeballs, burning the karma in your eyes that is no longer serving you. Two beams of light enter your eardrums, piercing them. The light fills up the head, the brain. Your face even lights up with the heat, the radiant light. Two beams of light shoot up your nostrils. A beam of light enters your mouth, piercing the tongue. The tip of the tongue lights up, middle of the tongue lights up, back of the tongue lights up. Now focus on the back of the throat. The throat is where the stubborn karma is stuck. Fill it with light. And one more beam of light enters the top of your skull from the heavens above, a signal from higher states of being connected to your ancestors, connected to exalted ancestors. This light pierces your brain, fills it up with light and love and super consciousness. Focus. Imagine Dr. Pillai as a light that embraces you. A spiritual transmission enters every pore of your skin, surrounding your body from head to toe. You're embraced, you're penetrated by spiritual light that diffuses stubborn karma. So you can change your destiny by connecting to your ancestors. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. And slowly, slowly, you can open your eyes and be gazing forward. With your right hand, you can place it over your bowl or the riverside or ocean side or lakeside, wherever you are doing this tarpanam. You can take some water, sprinkle it on, and cleanse the palm of your hand. So with your right hand, you can place a small amount of the black sesame seeds, or they can be beige or white in color. You can take some white rice grains or brown rice grains, cooked or uncooked. Take some rice powder, add it to the mix, like so. You can take your coin, mix it up a bit, and leave it there. The coin can be gold or silver or whatever color, whatever denomination, it doesn't really matter. Place your hand over the bowl. If you have some darba grass, not durva, darba. Place it on top. If you have some tulsi leaves or seeds, you can place it on top of that. And then finally, some flower petals. This is the tarpanam offering that we are going to give to 6 generations on the mother side of the family, the maternal side of the family. Hold it over the bowl. Place a few drops of water, sprinkle the water, and close your eyes if you'd like, so you can connect with your heart, your body, your mind, your soul, the chakras, the third eye, your brain. If you have pain in your body, focus on that and ask the ancestors who are disturbed and causing that pain to be receiving this offering. This is for 6 generations on mother's side of the family, the paternal side of the family. Please come and take this offering. This is my humble and heartfelt, soul-felt attempt to honor you, to praise you for everything that you've done, to forgive you from all that you want to be forgiven for in the lifetime that you served. Please accept this offering, go into higher realms or states of being, higher intelligent states, divine states of being. Commune with ancestors who are in exalted states of joy and happiness and experiencing heavenly realms. And then please, please forgive us as we've forgiven you for any mistakes, any sins, for not remembering you, for not honoring you to this point. On this power day, please accept the offering. Feel it inside of you. Feel your ancestors accepting it. Feel them being relieved of the suffering states. In God's name, Goddess's name, Dr. Pillai's name, so it shall be done. And then open your eyes and pour some water on this offering. Imagine the sins being released. You heard the coin dropping in the bowl. Allow it to do that. Feel it washing away the sins, the mistakes, the congested negative energy, the tough karma that you inherited is all being washed away. From the mother side of the family, those 6 generations that are impacting you more profoundly at this time, then you can take the coin out and begin again. This is going to be the offering that we will give to the paternal side of the family, 6 generations on the father side of the family. Black sesame seeds, white rice grains, white rice powder, keep connecting internally. Take your coin, some darba grass, some tulsi leaves or seeds, some flowers. This is the offering for 6 generations on the father's side of the family, paternal side of the family. Place it over the bowl, your right hand, with all the ingredients over the bowl. Pour a little bit of water on it. Close your eyes. Connect with your heart, your soul, your body, your mind. All your thoughts are being focused on this offering to the ancestors, on 6 generations on the father side of the family, the paternal side of the family. Please come and take this offering. This is the most powerful time of the year for you to come and be relieved of the sins that were committed during your lifetimes, that you've passed on to the generations of the descendants here, including myself, in my humble state of being. My heart and soul felt prayers are to relieve you of your suffering through this offering. Please go into higher realms or states of being with the divine, with the exalted ancestors. Please come and take this offering. Please come, take it. And be at peace, prosper wherever you are, be in enlightened states with divine intelligence, that you can bless us here on the earth plane with peace, prosperity, enlightenment. As we forgive you, please forgive us for not honoring you, and help us to continue to do so moving forward. Open your eyes and then pour the water on the offering. Allow it to fall into the bowl. Imagine being cleansed. Imagine feeling lighter, knowing that this offering is doing something tremendous for your ancestors. And you take the coin out. One last time, because we can, we're going to ask the divine to intervene, all the exalted ancestors to come and bless the whole earth plane. Bless everyone to be free of suffering of any kind. Black sesame seeds, white rice grains, white rice powder, darba grass, some seeds or leaves of tulsi, and flower petals. This is the ancestor offering for all exalted ancestors to come to the earth plane, relieve the earth plane of struggling ancestors who can be moving into higher realms, and then bless us in return. So closing your eyes, focus internally, imagine a world free of suffering, free of pain of any kind. Everyone has food, clothing, shelter, medicine, beautiful family relationships, people to love one another in ways that we haven't seen as a global community. This is the golden age. This is the time where we can imagine it happening. And so be it. With the help of the ancestors who are coming to receive this offering of Tarpanam, to relieve the suffering of the ancestors who are struggling between realms, between the earth and heavenly realms, and help them to come and evolve so that more ancestors can help everyone to be at peace, prosper, be enlightened, be in divine states where miracle consciousness can be an everyday way of thinking, doing, feeling, being. No more suffering, no more suffering, no more suffering. And then you can open your eyes, pour this water on the offering into the bowl. Imagine it being cleansed away, the sins of the world, through this spiritual high-tech and you can be closing your eyes. Put your attention internally. Again, focus on your chakra system in the spine. Focus on imagining this light shooting up through your brain from the bottom of your spine, going into the space, the ancestral realms. Aum, aum. Namah Shivaya. Now the chakras are lit up, your backbone is lit up in your subtle body, your brain is lit up. Focus your attention on the middle of your brain, your third eye. Bring that attention from your third eye into your heart. So it's going to fall into your heart, float down into your heart, from the head to the heart. Imagine the light now shooting up from the heart, going through the top of the skull and resting 12 inches above the top of the skull. Connect with a red being, Kalabhairava, who will get you into miracle consciousness, out of slow time. Udyamo Bhairava, 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 Udyamo Bhairava. Again, come into your heart center. Imagine a beautiful blue being appearing in your heart center, Lord Vishnu, who loves to bless the ancestors, ask them to come into heaven so that they can evolve and bless you in return. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 Bring your hands together in prayer pose, or open them up, palms to the ceiling, and receive the blessings from your ancestors, dancing on your palms, or feel them in your prayers, your heartfelt prayers, to be at peace and bless you. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul. Peace to all the souls of your ancestors. Peace to the world, peace to the world's ancestors. And just let go. On your way back to your conscious state of being, your awareness in the present moment. And before you open your eyes, you can make a prayer of gratitude to Dr. Pillai and everybody here collectively, helping to focus on appeasing the ancestors during this very powerful time of Mahalaya Paksha, the midpoint. And then slowly, slowly come back to yourselves. So welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining, those of you who need to go. And we will see you at the same time at this channel tomorrow, or when you can return. And we recommend that even if you miss a day, you can watch the recording and tap into the energy of the day. And the moon phase has a significant amount of intelligence. And today is all about divine intelligence and bringing the highest consciousness to the planet that we know of, that is also in that deep space within us. As Christ said, the kingdom is within. We just got to open it up and get the treasure. So those of you who are going to stay, then we will take some questions, or you can share your experiences. And in the meantime, I'm going to pop up a shared screen, because this is what people have been asking. Where do I find on Pillai Center the information about getting the Vedic specialist to do the Tarpanam on our behalf? So this is the shared screen that you're going to see now. The image is what you'll see on Pillai Center. So you're going to receive the lifetime of blessings from your exalted ancestors in these 15 days, which we're halfway through. And you can participate in power spot ceremonies that will be done on your behalf by the Vedic specialists. And then they will see the ancestor souls, those who are struggling, and then they will negotiate on our behalf on what it is that they require to move into higher realms. And then once they do, then we will receive, as Ambika shared during the video presentation just before we did our practice today, where she just felt that peace, and she knew, oh my God, that's my mother's soul is at rest, it's at peace, and I'm at peace, even though the life is still hectic. And she did pass away, and so on. So if you didn't get to review that, then please take a moment and do that after we finish up here. You can do it now. Nobody's stopping you. So that's what you will see. There are services that are offered through Pillai Center and Astraved as per your preference. We just want to serve you. We want to help you. So whatever sister company invites you to come in at the level of the soul, then you can just participate. It's all the same. It's all being done by the Vedic specialists in power spots around India that Dr. Pillai has been told through the Tamil Siddha tradition. This is where we can get the greatest blessings from the highest or the most exalted ancestors that will help the other ones who are struggling. See, we can't see into the spiritual realm. We don't have our spiritual eye open. Or even if we did, it's a scary place. There are a lot of forces, just like in life. If we go down a dark alley, we don't know what is going to be coming out, or we're in a jungle or in a forest. We don't know without the help of people who can light up the path, and then they know the path to go that's going to be the safest path. So that's what you want to take a look at and see what is still available. There's some fire labs, and there are some offerings where the Vedic specialists will do. People have been, because they didn't know about Mahalaya, they didn't know about the significance and what can be done. So they are participating in the year-long Tarpanam program, which includes Mahalaya. So wherever they jump in at this point in time, then it will go up until next year at this point in time in Mahalaya. So the year-long program is a very powerful program for your ancestors to be honored daily at all these different power spots. And then if you miss doing your Tarpanam at home, or if that again is not clearing out the sins of the forefathers or the foremothers, and my God, I've been doing the Tarpanam, I'm praying, how come I still have the pain and suffering? How come I don't feel the relief? Well, it's kind of like going to your GP, your general practitioner doctor, and you just don't feel well. And the doctor says, well, let's try this, let's try that, and change your lifestyle and do this and do that. And you do, but still there's something going on. So more tests need to be done. You need to go to a specialist. So again, it's this technology that we cannot do every day on our own and get the results that we need. Then we can go to the Vedic specialists, the surgeons of the ancestral afflictions, and they will cut that out. So anything on the spiritual realm, we don't know about it. We can't see it, but it's passed on through the generations, through the scriptures, and it's been jealously guarded for some strange reason. But maybe now we're at a time where we're evolving towards the golden age, and so all this technology is coming out to the general public. So again, it's not about my religion is better than your religion, or my tradition is the right one or the wrong one. Nobody's going to be able to convert you or to convince you. It's just that try this out and see what happens. And you might explore your tradition in a deeper and more meaningful way, or more intimate way, profound way, where you can honor your ancestors through those customs. But this is the key that will unlock the secret, perhaps, of your custom, your tradition, and reconnect you, or connect you in a deeper way. So no hard or fast rules. Try it out and see what happens for you. And God bless you all. So let's get here onto the chat, where you can place your whatever your comments are, your questions. Thanks, dear Sucharita, for your guidance. This wonderful session of Tarpanam. Can we do Tarpanam for the dead in-laws who haven't done even death rituals? Absolutely, Nalini. And I would consider, if your in-laws have not been honored, haven't had a funeral rites, maybe they were just cremated, and or maybe I don't even know what the custom or tradition is that you come from. But sometimes people don't even have funeral rites. They just cremate the body, they stick it in an urn, and then I don't know what they do with it. And that's all good. But those souls are like, they feel ripped off. And how do we know that? Well, just look in the life, look in your life. In fact, if you do have an urn, or you are holding on to the ashes of your ancestors, you may want to consider, especially if you're troubled in any way, you have relationship issues, or you don't even have a relationship, or you have financial problems, disease, upset, you feel depressed, you feel like there's something blocking your progress in your work or your business or your career, or whatever it is, then that could be that ancestor needs to be either the ashes dispersed in some meaningful way. Tarpanam can be done. So it's recommended, and definitely you don't have to do this, but consider it. If this is, you feel some affliction and you feel like, I can't let go of this ancestor, I can't even let go of the ashes, then consider it, and do it in a way that is very profound for you, and you feel the release, and you're respecting this being who you have the ashes for, and let it go, and you will experience something really, really freeing for you. So again, we're not saying you must do this. We're just saying, if there are areas of your life and you've been doing the Tarpanam, and you've done funeral rites, and they gave you the ashes back, and they weren't buried properly in a funeral rite, or they weren't put into nature, or whatever that person wanted, or maybe they didn't in their will, but you have it. And so you have that dead spirit's energy and physical ashes in your space. Consider. That's all I'm saying. It will maybe it will be relieving you in some way, and maybe you'll get some blessings. So again, if you're on the spiritual path, we want to see what is creating congested negative energy in our mind, in our psyche, in our emotions. And so we don't have to look too far to find out, whoa, I'm hanging on to this. Or even animal ashes, pets. Consider doing pet Tarpanam for your deceased pets as well. Some people do that, and because our pets are like these part of our family, and they carry memories and carry a lot of angst if they passed away in a painful way, or it was hard to let them go. Some people hold on to those ashes as well. Some people don't have those ashes, or the pet is buried somewhere, whatever they've done. But they still are stuck to that soul, and it's a living being. And so you can release yourself from that psycho-spiritual experience, and then feel as if you're freeing their souls up to go wherever they need to go to evolve, and then you can be blessed as well. So how to release the close friends? Well, Close friends can be like sisters or brothers. You can talk to their family members and say, would you want to do participate in a special ritual or offering for their soul? Because in every culture, every tradition, there is not only during the funeral, there are times throughout the year where it's significant time frame, or a vortex opens up according to that culture, that tradition. And you can say, can we do special prayers for your departed loved one, who is my fabulous friend who departed, and I feel like I just want to do this. Would you like to participate in that? And then they can pay for it, because you want to be careful. You don't want to get into too much of the karma of that person, because they're not actually part of your gene pool or part of your adopted gene pool, although they were close. Maybe go to ask the divine to speak to one of the relatives' hearts and bodies and minds and souls, and before you do speak to them, and then you may get a yes, and then you can go ahead and make the arrangements for them. Indira is saying, my mom, will it fall in the category of maternal or paternal ancestors? So your mom is the maternal side of the family. And even if you don't know your parents and you don't even know the names of your ancestors, like I didn't know a lot of the names of my ancestors. But then as I got on this path with Dr. Pillai, you don't even have to say maternal side of the family after a while, or paternal side of the family. It's any ancestor that has passed, that is, struggling in any way and blocking the progress. So please don't get so caught up in the right or the wrong way of doing it, and don't get so stressed out about it. It's your heart and your mind and your body and your emotions and your intellect and your spiritual energetic being that's saying, God, I didn't know about this, but I know that this can help. And so whatever I can do to alleviate suffering of the ancestors, whether I know you or not, or ever knew you or didn't know about you, I'm sorry that was just the way it is. The way of the world is not like it was a long time ago. It is what it is now in the 21st century, and I'm ignorant, and you're not telling me. So don't get too caught up about maternal side, paternal side. It can be all ancestors in general. So, but when you're doing this, when you're first starting out, you want to be able to feel something, and we can at least connect with those who we do know about. So for me, I knew that my grandparents had passed away, my mother had passed away, some aunts and uncles had passed away, some cousins had passed away. So I knew about that far. And then as I went along over the years that I've been doing this practice, it's extended into, in general, any ancestors who are restless. So you can do it all at once in one offering of Tarpanam, but for your own self to connect with the energy of your ancestors who are struggling, you want to just take it a little bit at a time. So you can start with 6 generations, you can go to 12, you could go to 18, 20, you can just keep upping it. And then how you know to go to the next level is that you will feel there's a breakthrough, or you feel like, okay, there's like this flat line or plateau, and you don't feel anything anymore. Then ask more ancestors to come in. And then eventually you'll just get to that point of general. Anyone who's generally is suffering in general, just come and take this offering. So Leia's saying, I do have my pet's ashes. What do I do with them? Well, meditate on it. And then maybe you'll take them to a favorite place that you used to take your pet. Or you can go to, this is what people say to me about their pets and their deceased pets, is they go to these animal communicators or pet psychics. So go, trust that you're going to do your Google search and you're going to find the best animal communicator, the best pet communicator. And then you can just ask them, say, Sparky passed away in whatever year it was. I have the ashes and I want to know what to do with them. And then that pet psychic or pet communicator may give you some insights that you will know, oh my God, this is totally the message from Sparky. So you can do that, or you can just go on your own internally and intuitively, you just know what to do with it. So can go into a stream, can go into a place in nature, can go into the ocean, but you're going to just do it as like a ritual and just say, I didn't know what to do with you, and here, be it free. Take some flowers or some tarpanum with you, tarpanum mix, and do a little tarpanum. But you're going to be doing it with that heartfelt intention to relieve your emotional, spiritual, psychological connection to that being. And then you feel the release and the relief. Nazila is saying, thanks, Suchitra, for the gems you're sharing with us. Would you please tell us what is proper way of death rituals, cremation, burial, funerals, and other recommendations as per Dr. Pillai? This is what it is, tarpanum. As per Dr. Pillai, you do your death rituals, whatever that is for your custom, your culture. And if you're still experiencing problems in your life and you see it in all the different areas of your life, there's blocks, then you can try this spiritual technology, doing the tarpanum offering that we've been doing every day, and then considering going into enrolling in the year-long program, and continue to do that until you start to see across the different areas of your life, they start to open up, and you start to feel freedom, and you start to go, oh my God, this would never have happened to me. I know that this would never have happened to me because it's being done every day for you, for your ancestors. So you can do that, or you can, like I started out, we didn't have the year-long programs. We just had power times throughout the year where the ancestors were coming to the earth plane. So you can follow that calendar, and we'll give you the heads up from Pillai Center or Astrovid when that's happening. It's just better bang for buck when it's better on your budget, if you don't know what that saying is, and to do a monthly payment, and then it's done for you. And you're done the whole year, and Mahalaya is included. So your ancestors are getting appeased every day by the specialists, and you get to pray for them every day, whether you do your own daily tarpanum at home, so you can feel like you did something, you participated in it as well as it got done on your behalf by proxy. And then every day you start to feel this opening, this energy inside of you, and you might even have memories or release of pain and suffering. And the ancestors are going to be speaking to you. Like Dr. Pillai says, your thoughts are not only your thoughts, they're your ancestors' thoughts. Just like the nose on your face is not your nose. It's the ancestors' nose that you inherited from. And that physical manifestation, or your eyes or your cheekbones or whatever, the color of your skin, that's the ancestors who, they gave you those genes, and that got expressed, that DNA got expressed. So, somebody's saying, what does this mean? I do have a father wound. During the offering for the maternal side, I felt a subtle shift in energy, heard a female voice on the left ear saying my name. Nothing occurred during the paternal side, it seemed. Well, that's fine. Sometimes when I'm doing the offering, I don't feel anything, but I just keep doing it. Just like when you brush your teeth, you keep brushing your teeth. And then you go to your dentist, and the dentist says, wow, you have fabulous teeth and great. And you got a little bit of a cavity here, but let's clean it up. So, you can just keep the health of your teeth going, and you can keep the health of your ancestors going in a very fast way. So just like brushing your teeth. If you get a message, fine. If you don't, fine. But what we want to see is in our life. So we don't want to just do this and have a nice psycho-spiritual experience. Great. Or get a message, whisper in the ear. We want to see the area of our life. So when you're doing your tarpanum offering, you can say, oh my God, today I have this very important meeting. I just need your blessings, ancestors. Your ancestors will get into your bosses. They will get into your coworkers. They will get into that project, and they will do it because they're in the spiritual realm. They don't have any blocks, physical blocks. So if you really pray to your ancestors, I'm offering this tarpanum to you today. Please, 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 I have this deadline. I've got this presentation. I really need this raise. I need a promotion. Please, please, please get into anyone who you choose that's going to help me the most. Put them to work. Or you just want more energy today, or you have a chronic illness and you're just like, I don't know what ancestor is upset, but please, please take this offering and give yourself relief and give me relief from this, and help me to find a way out. And ask the exalted ancestors who have gone to that level of a saint or a spiritual master or a god or a goddess or angel. They've gone into these higher states of intelligence, and the intel is inside. So the intelligence is really a strong connection, like we felt yesterday, that unshakable strength of the spirit to diffuse anything that is no longer serving you. It's a lower intelligence is disease of the body mind. That's a low vibrating intelligence. It's a low energy. It's dragging you down. You feel lethargy, you feel despondent, you feel depressed, you feel angry or upset, you feel like it's everyone else's fault but your own. And why I'm saying that, and it's not easy for people to hear, do your spiritual practices. Bring more light, more intelligence. Bring more of the blessings of your ancestors. And why do it now is because you'll feel them the most now. And you not only feel them, you'll see it in your life. And you'll just be like, oh, I don't have to die to speak to the ancestors on the other side in the spiritual realm. I can do it now, put them to work and get the blessings. So that's what we want to see in the life, not just do something that we think is going to be okay. We want to be thinking the highest thoughts, the highest manifestation of our most evolved selves, which is these exalted states of being, these exalted ancestors, the people, the souls who have gone before us, and they're lighting up the path. So we don't have to die a physical death to live a miraculous life, to live a life of joy and happiness and get rid of whatever is dragging us down. So it's an energy. It's not the people, it's the energetic connection. So we may have ancestors who just want to be in hellish realms. Well, God bless you, or devil bless you, whatever. But we want to be detached from that. And that's what the Tarpanam will do. It won't throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. It will just get rid of that dirty bathwater and keeps that connection to the soul. And then maybe that soul eventually, or souls will eventually come up, but it's not going to be something that we have to struggle with. We'll just hand them over to the higher exalted ancestors. Francesco's saying, hi Sutrita, thanks for another priceless teachings. I have technical question related to the third eye opening and how do we know it's open? Do we have it open? Thanks. Well, you heard the Arutpurum Jyoti, this hymn that brings in the most, the highest energy, the light, the intelligence, omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, meaning all knowing, all powerful, and it is everywhere. So it's the highest intelligence, which is the most merciful, most compassionate light. So that is the song Arutparam Jyoti that you heard at the beginning from the Dancing with Shiva CD or tracks. So it's a download now, not CD anymore. So that is the song that Swami Ramalingam, who went to that level of God consciousness, realized God through and through. The third eye was open by the exalted ancestors, such as Lord Murugan, Lord Shiva, the Siddhas, the Tamil Siddha tradition that Dr. Pillai hails from. Like Christ, he went away for 12 years. And he was lost, or they didn't know where he was. He was studying with the masters in the mystery schools. And so he knew how to turn the body into light, which he did. After 3 days, he rose. But even before then, he had the ability to do miracles. And he could make a dead body to come to life again. So, and just like that, that's when the third eye is open. When you don't even, you know, it's not you. You just know that a dead body can come back to life. So when people say, "Oh, my third eye is open," okay, it might be, you might be having some mystical or spiritual piercing into or peering into the spiritual realm. But then again, have you completely turned the whole body into light? Well, that's up to the divine. And then if you're just walking along, as Dr. Pillai says, this is how you'll know when the third eye is open fully, as that you're just present wherever you are, and someone says, please, you know, I really want my daughter, my son, or my loved one to come out of a coma. Their body is dead, but they're just being kept alive. And that person's prayer is so deeply connected to you, and you're enlightened, you're already at that stage of the light body and your third eye is fully open. You just get a ping and you don't even know where it's coming from. And then that person comes out of the coma, or they actually die on the table, and then they have an out of body experience, they come back in. So that's the state in which you get pinged. But do you know about it on an intellectual level? Not really. You're not there anymore. So that's the fully third eye open, is you are so divine. You are in a state of being that you're not even there with the ego or the intellect or even the emotion or psychological state. Is you're a beacon of light. And then because you're in that vicinity and those thought forms are there, that person is just appealing so deeply to the divine. They don't even know you, or they may know you. You know, like Dr. Pillai, people will say, you saved my life. And he'll go, I don't know you. Yeah, but I'm praying to you. Okay. You know, he doesn't know. So, but you're at that state of divine evolution, that everything about you is just that you're here to be a light unto others. And that's it. You don't even have a choice really to open your third eye. It's your time. So that's a long-winded way to understand what the third eye open is. But if you think about it, people who say they have their third eye open, if they did, they wouldn't be talking about it. They would just be, and miracles would be coming. It's not to say that you can't have psycho-spiritual experiences and maybe help some people. That's okay, but it's also, there's a karma attached because you're still thinking you're doing it on some subtle level. So we just want to get out of our way completely and leave it up to the divine and say, okay, this is our birthright to have all our chakras rocking so that they push the energy up to the third eye. It opens up like the chalice, you know, or like a satellite dish. And then to be in the 21st century, and then all the divine just comes in, and you're always connected. You have a fabulous Wi-Fi connection to the divine. Laura's saying, how can we escape from those spirits that are not ancestors in our family lineage, but are disturbing our lives? And again, that's what you will do when you ask the Vedic specialists to do it on your behalf. Then those exalted ancestors, they can come and be protecting you from those restless spirits as well. It's kind of like you have your own bodyguards or mind guards or spirit guards. So I would go to the specialist, the Vedic specialist, enroll in a year-long Tarpanam, and then you tell us how it goes. Yeah. So Melba's saying here, well, the learning has been, oh, wow, the learning has been intense and immense. Such a humbling experience. Yeah, Melba, it is. And that's why we have these workshops, so that you understand when Dr. Pillai shares something, he's in a very high state of being. And whoever he's communing with or communicating with, they're saying, bring this into the earth plane at this point in time. So even if you've cleaned up your lineage and everybody's a happy camper in the life, then sponsoring these huge rituals that are done in these power spots around India or even around the world, because Dr. Pillai is not the only one who's bringing this technology. You just happen to be stumbling across this, or you've been invited to come and join on some level. And that's all good. But there's a lot going on in all the spiritual realms. We just have a different karma. So we have a karma, or our thoughts are going towards Dr. Pillai's teachings. It's natural for us. It's not something you can say, oh, I'm going to do this or do that. It's something that's pinging you inside. So we want everyone to realize that anything that is being done through Astrovet or through Pillai Center, it's being done for the whole world. So for all the ancestors. So it is intense, it is immense, but we just want you to start with you first and get that all cleaned up. And then you will be using your time and your energy, your resources wisely, because the ancestors will do it faster than you can in a lifetime. So thanks so much for sharing your feedback, everyone. Donna Devi is posted here. Join Dr. Pillai this Sunday, September 13th for Mahalaya 2020 live with Dr. Pillai at 8 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. UTC, or 8:30 p.m. IST. See the information in the description area below this video. So there's a bunch of links below this video. Thanks so much, Donna Devi, for reminding me. Please go check them out. Soul Genetics is a course offered through Pillai Center Academy. You'll get an initiation by Dr. Pillai on how to communicate with your ancestors or begin to communicate with them. Even if you feel like you have, communication isn't on a psychological level. It's on way deeper level. So he'll give you certain techniques and share experiences on or technologies on how to deepen your experience with your communication with the ancestors. Also, you can get one-to-one coaching. I'll help you to connect with your ancestors, which many of you have been reaching out and asking for those one-to-one coaching sessions. And so those, if you want a one-to-one coaching session, there's a link below there as well. So Pillai Center Academy, Soul Genetics, and then the different services that we've been sharing about. If you feel like I got to go to that next level, or something is pinging me, do this, then explore that. And then if you have no money in your budget right now, then it may come out of nowhere. And if it does come out of nowhere, it's your ancestors saying, hey, go do this for me so I can help you. That's happened to me and so many other people. We've shared about that in previous calls. So go watch those recordings. So many answers to your questions here are also, I went into depth sharing about that. So these workshops are all about keeping you aware of what is happening. And then also please join Dr. Pillai live anytime you can, because he is getting the hot off the press information on how to bring in protection energy, especially during these crazy times that we live in. They may be crazy times that we live in, and it's so overwhelming, all the negativity, but how are we navigating everyday life? So we want to keep up our energy. We want to keep up our faith and hope and trust in the divine, because that's what's going to have to intervene. We can't stop what has been going on, or we haven't been able to make the correction. And then navigating in lockdown, it can really be making us to feel like, God, please come to the earth plane, God. And so Dr. Pillai will give you the latest and greatest information, or he'll share that. Okay, it looks like I've responded to most of those questions or comments. If I didn't, please copy and paste, because otherwise I'll have to scroll up and that makes me dizzy. So please do share your feedback. We're getting close to the closing of this program. So please check out the links below, and then we'll see you tomorrow for our next fabulous adventure in your discovery of your connection to your ancestors. And that's what's most important. And then whether you understand this or not at first, it's all happening at a spiritual level. So you've got to use your own body, mind, your soul, your thoughts, your emotions to really want to connect with your ancestors to get their blessings, and this is the time to do it, you'll feel it the most. And then thereafter, you can continue on, or you can have the Vedic specialist do it on your behalf. And then what you want to see is the areas of your life that you're struggling most with. Are they opening up? Are you feeling freedom? Are you feeling that relief, that release? Even if, as Ambika shared on the video, even if it still looks chaotic, how are you feeling, and how are you experiencing your life, or perceiving how your energy, what your thoughts are moving forward? So God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining, and please click the like or hit the like button and share this with your friends. It will help us to spread the message that much further. All right. God bless you all. Namaste.